Okay, I'm going to rant a little bit about Star Wars. It's been a while since I've actually ranted about this, and I got to get some stuff out. I got to get some stuff off my chest, and this is the best place to do it. So one of the things I've been seeing lately that's really bothered me, not about Star Wars necessarily, but about how human beings are, is that there's people out there who are saying, I have hope. I hope that Star Wars gets better, which I understand. But what they're saying is that they have hope that Kathy Kennedy steps down and that somebody else takes over and that person can, I guess, save Star Wars. So let's talk about this. First of all, I'm telling you right now, and I've talked about this at least 3 times in the past, George Lucas is not coming back to take over Kathy Kennedy's job. It's not happening. I don't care what YouTuber reports it. I don't care what website reports it. If you're not hearing it from credible sources like Making Star Wars or one of the actual people who has inside connections, not somebody who claims they have connections and gets shit wrong, it's not going to happen. George Lucas will never work for another corporation like Disney ever again. He has said himself he's not going to come back. Multiple times he has said he's too old for it, he has other projects in mind, and he'll muck things up. Multiple times, and yet we still have people on YouTube who are constantly lying, telling you he's coming back. He's not coming back. Get that away. Now, I'm going to say this. The sequel trilogy was trash. I was one of the first guys on YouTube to openly trash The Last Jedi. Before there even was a fandom menace, I shat on that movie because I did not like the direction they were going in. Didn't like it. Then everybody else came around and started talking about it. I'm not saying that I inspired them because obviously we all dislike that movie for reasons, but don't even sit there and try to say that I'm defending, Lucasfilm, because I'm not. And I don't like the way they treated the fans either. Blaming the fans, calling them sexist, that's very bad optics. And a very bad generalization of genuine criticism. But what irritates me is that people on YouTube, channels have this cult following, which I understand because I have a 700k sub channel, Geekdom 101, where I have people who follow me a lot, and I'm cool with people supporting a creator. But when you say something like, well, I support this guy because he gives me hope, when you're being lied to, dog. It's false hope. It's literally, you're saying, I want to watch this guy because he gives me false hope. That's when you're going into cult territory. That's when you're talking about okay, I'm willing to drink the Kool-Aid and believe this guy's bullshit because it makes me feel better. When, number one, that's a very disturbing thing because it shows that there's something that's wrong mentally with people who say that because they're not really grounded in reality. That's number one. And number two, they are okay with justifying being lied to because it makes them feel better at night. Temporarily. What's going to happen when it comes out that this is all bullshit, which it already has come out? George Lucas is not coming back to Star Wars. Listen, I don't think Kathy Kennedy should be in charge of Star Wars. I don't think that. However, there are still people on this platform who are crucifying her multiple times a month. I've still seen videos about Kathy Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy made a huge error with the sequel trilogy. They went in with no direction, different directors, different visions, and it did not work out. We can all agree to that, right? The problem is that she's also made some good decisions. She brought in Jon Favreau. She brought in Taika Waititi. And they have, Jon Favreau with The Mandalorian's been very successful. We all love Mandalorian. Clone Wars Season 7 is great. Bad Batch is pretty good. We've got more Star Wars projects down the pipeline. She promoted Dave Filoni. So why are these channels not being objective and fair and saying, okay, Kathy Kennedy made mistakes. We agree. She sucked at her job for a while. But now she's rectifying it. So we have Star Wars, a story that's built on the redemption of Anakin Skywalker, and motherfuckers on this platform aren't giving Kathy Kennedy a chance to redeem herself. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm into the whole political shit, or that I like the fact that they have these games they play with the fans or with their audience, and, you know, Disney plays these, like, you know, woke games. I don't like that shit. But you can't sit there and say Star Wars is complete trash now, because there has been good stuff that has come out. Yes, the sequel trilogy's trash and it's over. It's not getting retconned. There's no alternate timeline. You have been lied to. But to sit there and continue to crucify this woman, it's disgusting. And the only reason they're doing it is because of this silly culture war, to where they want to get you to hate her over and over again, because the more you are angry, the more it creates an emotional response, and the more that you click on the videos. I know, because I'm a fucking YouTuber. I've been doing it for 6 years. We know all the tricks. We know the tricks. I choose not to use these tricks that often because it's very manipulative. Kathleen Kennedy fucked up with episode 7, 8, and 9. But to sit there and say she's still... I mean, she might still be making mistakes. But to sit there and say she hasn't done anything right... Promoting Dave Filoni, which was her call, by the way. She's still a producer on The Mandalorian. Giving Jon Favreau control. And Dave Filoni. These are good things. But no. We got people who are still manipulating you into hating her. And I'm not saying she should not be criticized for her mistakes. But to sit there and say she shouldn't be given the opportunity to redeem herself? Do you really take Star Wars, a fictional franchise, so seriously that you are going to have legitimate hatred for a person? A real human being? I don't know if I feel that way about anything, man. And I hate the sequel trilogy, and I hate what it did to the lore of Star Wars. I don't like it. I've said that multiple times. But I'm never going to have this hate boner for a person over something so... I still have the old trilogy. They can't take that away from us. They can't. They can't take A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi away from us. They can't. Those will be immortalized forever. But y'all gotta wake the fuck up. And I'm so glad people are finally waking up to the bullshit. I'm so happy that this constant fake news about Lucas coming back is finally getting debunked. We've been hearing this for 2.5 years now. George Lucas, if you know anything, if you fucking know anything about him, he hates the studio system. He will never work under the studio system. He hates Hollywood. Hollywood hates him. It's been an issue he's had his whole career. Now that he got paid to sell Star Wars, he's done. He'll go to the set. He'll talk to Filoni and Favreau. He'll stop by to say hello, but he's not going to take over. He's too old and has no interest in working under somebody else at Disney. He's not going to own Disney. If you know anything about Lucas, supposed Star Wars fans, you would know this. Do your research on George Lucas. Stop falling for the bullshit. Please. Because it's getting to the point now where it's like a cult thing. It's no longer about supporting Star Wars. It's about following this imaginary cult of fans who are waiting for something to happen that's just not going to happen. You can hope that Filoni and Favreau take over Kennedy's job or somebody else comes in, but it ain't going to be George Lucas. And ultimately, she's made some good decisions that we should be fair about. Let's be fair. Let's be adults about this. Maybe I'm acting too much because it's YouTube, but I had to get this out. And I'm so glad people are finally waking up to the bullshit. I appreciate you if you are. And if you're not, think about what I said. Think about it. I'll talk to you soon.